Oligopoly. It's a market structure which is very close to that of monopoly, except that in a monopoly we have just one firm. In an oligopoly we have a few firms in the market. So the first characteristic of an oligopoly is there are few firms in the market. The reason that there are a few firms in the market is because there are barriers to entry. There's something that prevents the entry of new firms into the market. It could be a legal barrier to entry, which prevents the entry of new firms into the market. It could be a natural barrier to entry, which prevents the entry of new firms into the market. In other words, they are the same barriers to entry as in the case for a monopoly, except they obviously are not as strong as the barriers in a monopoly. In a monopoly, a legal barrier to entry could be one firm has the exclusive right to be the firm in the market, like Star City, the Star, has a license from the state government to be the only firm in the market. Whereas when it comes to the free-to-air networks, there are 3 licenses which the government has given. When it comes to free-to-air networks, there are 3 licenses which the government has given to Network 7, Network 9 and Network 10. So those 3 are the only firms in the free-to-air television market that are allowed by the license, which prevents the entry of other firms. So the barriers are essentially the same as the barriers in a monopoly, except that they aren't as strong as that of a monopoly, which is why you have a few as opposed to just one firm in the market. Now, the main feature of monopoly, of oligopolies are, because there are a few firms in the market, the firms are what we call interdependent. The main assumption in oligopolies is that the firms are interdependent. There are only a few firms in the market, so the actions of one firm directly affect the actions of another firm. There are just a few firms in the market, so they are all watching the other firm's actions, and they will respond to the other firm's actions. Sometimes the response may be to do nothing, but in any case, the firms are always observing and reacting to their competitors' actions in an oligopoly. The firms are interdependent. This interdependency, we will see, is what causes the model for oligopoly to look like it does. Let's construct the model for an oligopoly. We'll start with the usual demand curve. So we're constructing the model for oligopoly. We have the usual downward sloping demand curve. And let's say that P star is the current market price and Q star is the current market quantity.